Really? Can you reel it in, please? We've
Hindi ko
begun.
kailangan ng tissue. I don't need tissue. Please stop judging me. Please stop.
Oh my gosh. Well, welcome to the Awkward Podcast. My wife's made it truly awkward. Hey, no, that microphone's there for a reason, so lean into it and use it, please. Thank you. No.
Move your leg.
No. There we go. I did move my leg.
Oh, you're not recording yet.
It is recording, Tara.
Nothing's recording.
See the green light up there?
How's
And
that?
see how it says stop? It won't show us while we're recording. It's not how Camtasia works.
It's the soap.
What does that even mean?
I don't like the soap.
You don't like my soap?
No.
What's wrong with my soap?
It smells like metal.
No, Irish Spring is the best soap known to mankind.
It smells like metal.
You smell like metal, understand?
That could be true.
Why don't you appreciate it and be like, you smell like Iron Man. Welcome to the Awkward Podcast.
Tin Man. Oh, don't cry. You rust so dreadfully.
You said goodbye, Tim Man. Does that mean I'm sleeping on the couch? Well,
The name's Bond. James Bond.
Yep, that's me and my wife Tara, and we are the Awkward Podcast.
Good morning, Vietnam!
And today we're going to be going over awkward people of the Bible, the 30-day devotional, and today is day 11, actually. Do you know that we're already at day 11?
No, I didn't know.
You're beautiful. Do you know that?
Thank you.
All right.
Busted everybody's ears.
Good. Well, I apologize. Anyway, so let's start off by reading. The reference is Exodus 4, Moses, a public speaking nightmare. So let's just go ahead and jump right on into this. If you have a copy of Awkward People of the Bible, feel free to read along with us on day 11. Otherwise, feel free to purchase your own copy at Amazon. It's available on Amazon right now. Sure. Okay. All right. So I'll read this. So Moses' first reaction to the Lord calling him was to point out his inadequacies. He argues and tells the Lord he is not good enough.
You didn't read the title.
I did, but you were too busy looking at Dub Smash. What'd you just do?
I moved my speaker. I moved my microphone.
Talk in your microphone.
I am talking.
You ruined your microphone. No one can hear you. You unplugged it. There, talk again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh.
Stop touching your microphone. I told you that. All
Don't
right.
tell me what to do.
Moses' first reaction to
Awesome.
the Lord calling him was to point out his inadequacies. He argues and tells the Lord he is not good enough.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
Yes. Then the Lord tries to reassure Moses by revealing all the miraculous signs he's going to do through him, but Moses is still self-conscious about the way he speaks. Moses explains to God that he has a stutter and is not very bright. He asks the Lord again to send him anyone but him.
What are you, my father?
This upsets the Lord. What you need to know is that God's character is the fruit of the Spirit. He is patient, he is kind, he is long-suffering, etc. God is angered at Moses' distrust in his plan, but he
Fear of loss is a path to the dark side.
but he lovingly reveals that Aaron, Moses' brother, will go and help be his spokesperson. Have you ever felt like the Lord is calling you to do something that you are unqualified to do?
He chose poorly.
Maybe your parents or your youth pastor keeps talking to you about sharing Jesus with your friends, or you have a big presentation coming up and you know the topic front and back, but you are still terrified to get up in front of anyone to give a speech.
I volunteer! I volunteer!
Maybe you can
volunteer
relate to
tribute.
Moses. My gosh. The point of this awkward moment is that God calls who he calls, and we may not fully understand why God calls us. We may not see ourselves as the sons and or daughters of a king yet, but God has equipped you. There is a saying, God has not called the equipped, but he has equipped the called.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
He doesn't qualify the called, but he doesn't call the qualified, but he qualifies the called.
That's right.
God didn't call the best looking, most eloquent, and brightest person of the Hebrew people to lead them out of captivity. He called Moses. That's not how he called Moses. Where was the perfect Charlton Heston Moses quote sound there? He totally dropped the ball on that one.
I know. I need to find that one.
All right. Moses was placed in the temple. Grew up in the palace as an Egyptian, and God called him. He had a stutter.
And you will know my name is the Lord when I lay my victory.
Okay. He had a stutter, and by the time the Lord had called him, he had committed murder and ran away. As Christians, we need to unveil the truth. When Christ died on the cross and ascended into heaven, he was seated at the right hand of the Father and reconciled us to him so we can share in his seat at the right hand of the Father. The Lord never intended for the Hebrews to be under the rule of Pharaoh. So at the right time, when their hearts had turned back to God, he sent a deliverer. He sent a deliverer for you too.
Goonies never say die.
Yes. If you are struggling with school, with your friends or family, or you feel out of place, or that you are not equipped, remember, neither was Moses. He ran away and had a stutter, but God used him. God had a plan and a destiny for Moses. When he...
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me
Yes.
down. I get knocked down,
Yes.
but I get up again. You're
Never gonna keep me down. That's right. That's gotta be your mantra. When the enemy comes to disrupt your destiny, be quick to acknowledge it. Ask the Lord to help you. You will be amazed at the ways at which he will come through for you.
And then I saw her face. I'm a believer.
Maybe the Lord will send you an errand to help you and be your spokesperson, or maybe you will be an errand for someone else. Actually, I think the dramatic squirrel would have worked better there. That's okay.
It's probably true.
Okay.
Mr. Lover. She call me Mr. Bombastic. From the fantastic. Put me on me box.
All right. So, Tara,
Yes.
my beautiful bride that is distracted and addicted to Dub Smash. Oh my
Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay, you're gonna be fired. I'm gonna throw your phone. I'm asking you the questions since you have sat there do nothing but making noises.
I have increased the quality of this podcast infinitely.
Infinitely. That is absolutely accurate. I want to ask you though, what project, task, or job has God called you to do now that you don't feel equipped to
Slap some
complete?
bacon on a biscuit and let's go. We're burning daylight.
Making breakfast? Yes, you don't do that very much.
No, I don't like to cook.
No, come on. For real life though.
Okay.
Do I need to ask you the question again?
Yeah.
You are
I'm distracted, honey.
exactly like your junior hire. What project, task, or job has God called you to do now that you don't feel equipped to complete?
Well, I think that right now I feel like I have a big task ahead of me. I'm writing my second book.
Mm-hmm.
And in a lot of ways, I still
What's
feel...
the name of your second book?
The name of my second book is Daughter of a Shepherd, Heir to the Throne.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it is a bit of a challenge. Just really pulling it all together and making it cohesive and making it really something that other people want to read. And so I know, after we completed Awkward People of the Bible, how good I felt, but really just kind of pushing through those insecurities and really making sure that, I'm doing what he's asked me to do and staying obedient to the call.
Great story. Compelling and rich.
Yeah.
You were jealous that I was the only one
Yeah, I had to
Dub
do
smashing?
something. Yeah. Here, I'll do it again.
Great story. Compelling and rich.
That was better.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, better.
So, well, that's cool. So, but you feeling more qualified because you've done it once already? Is that what you're saying?
I'm feeling more qualified, but still I wouldn't say that.
You're on it.
Yeah.
That's cool. What about this, honey?
Yeah.
I'll ask you another question. What circumstances has God placed you in that are stretching you beyond your abilities right now?
Don't think. Feel.
Bruce Lee.
What are stretching me right now?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I have a couple of opportunities to get out and speak, share my personal story a little bit more.
How does that make you feel?
It's a little... little bit more like this though.
Run, Forrest, run away.
Little bit. So yeah, I just, that's really kind of just where I've been at. Just, you know, making sure that I'm doing what God's asked me to do and
Right.
Staying focused on him. So that's probably the end of the show today, right?
Yeah. I just want to ask you one last question. While you're writing this chapter, what were you thinking? I mean, the author's inside look. Like, what were you thinking while you're writing this chapter about Moses? Why were you inspired to write about Moses in here?
Well, we're talking about awkward people in the Bible, and I think a lot of people don't fully understand that.
I can't hear you at all in the headphones.
I don't think that people fully understand that really God's chosen people, not the Jews, but chosen people to be the heroes of the faith, were often people that society would not have chosen. They weren't the, Justin Biebers or I don't know, whoever's cool right now.
Say Justin Bieber.
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 But you know what I mean? Like whoever's cool. I mean, yeah, pretty much. Like it wasn't whoever was cool. It was God, like we said in the beginning, God, will you stop touching everything around me? God doesn't call the equipped, he equips the called. And so Moses, we kind of think of Moses the end result after he's already been up, after he's seen the glory cloud, after he's wandered around with the Israelites in the first 40 years. But we forget that when he was called, while he was on, basically had run away from Pharaoh and was living in the desert, and God called him, he didn't want to be. Yeah, right? It's real. He didn't have this desire to go speak. He didn't have a desire to be in front of people. He actually was like, I
right.
And
that's all, folks.
Right? Like he wasn't like, oh yeah, like I'm eloquent, I'm amazing, I'm gonna be bombastic, like let's go.
It's the bombastic, call me fantastic.
Yeah, that wasn't him. So it was really, that's what inspired me, because I think sometimes we forget that there's always a process involved, and we want the end result right away. We don't want to spend the time going through the process. I mean, Moses was probably in his 60s by the time he went back to Egypt to, call the Israelites out of Egypt.
Right.
So, we just think, in the movies we see, Charlton Heston or
Moses
or who's that new guy that just played it from
Hugh Jackman. He's going to be.
It wasn't Hugh Jackman.
No, Hugh Jackman's going to be.
He's going to be Paul.
I'm so excited about that.
That other guy that played
Talking
Batman.
to Mike.
I can't think of his name right now.
Talking to Mike.
But anyway, he, we think of these young guys, but really Moses was like an old dude by the time he came back to lead the Israelites out of Egypt. And so we think, as we're, middle schoolers, or we are, even my age, we think, oh, I should have it all together. I should know everything. And that's not even real. Like, that's not who God has. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. We just really appreciate you.
Yep.
Thanks for listening to the show. We really appreciate you.
And we'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.